Is this the future of renewable energy technology? We're here at InterSolar 2025 in Munich, Germany to discover all the latest and greatest technology that's going to be coming out of Sigenergy in the next 12 months. If you've been watching our videos for a while, you'll know that we love Sigenergy products. We've fitted hundreds of them now, and they're absolutely fantastic from so many different angles. But we always want to know what's coming next. What are the next innovations that we're going to be able to install in the months and years to come? And today here at InterSolar, Sigenergy are revealing some of the most amazing innovations that they've been working on in the background that they're about to release. Let's take a look. The Sigenergy ecosystem is already very smart, but they're about to roll out new smart home technology that allows you to integrate not just your EV charger, your batteries and your solar, but smart home devices. So below me here, we've got some 𝐏𝐿𝐫 devices that are plugged in to a normal socket. And essentially what Sigenergy app is now going to allow you to do is add multiple different smart devices to your Sigenergy system in the app and be able to control things. So for example, you might have a 𝐏𝐿𝐫 smart plug that has a device plugged into it, say a washing machine or tumble dryer. And the idea would be that if you want to, when you've got excess solar, you can program that smart plug to switch on your tumble dryer when you've got excess solar to use that excess solar energy. Now there's loads of other things that you can do, like scheduling when smart devices come on and off, but the idea is really to expand the smart home ecosystem to be able to include a ton of different objects, devices that use energy and expand the benefits of your Sigenergy system to the entire home. So a lot of our customers are familiar with 𝐏𝐿𝐫 devices. We often fit the 𝐏𝐿𝐫 relay units to enable customers to control different circuits within their consumer unit. Well, this is a 𝐏𝐿𝐫 smart plug. Now it's fairly new to the UK. You can get them with a British plug. And it's fantastic because what it's going to enable you to do is basically switch on or off any device that can plug into a normal socket through the Sigenergy app. Now you're going to be able to use and control your 𝐏𝐿𝐫 relay devices as well, like the 𝐏𝐿𝐫 Pros. So that's really exciting for somebody who wants to go full smart home and basically create like a smart electrical distribution board. Effectively, you could set up all of your circuits in your house to be controlled individually through 𝐏𝐿𝐫 Pros and have it all switched on and off automatically by the Sigenergy app, which I think is a game changer. So in the Sigenergy app, you've got your smart home devices here. So we've got our clothes dryer and our light. If we go into our light, we can turn it on and off. If we go into control mode, we can set a schedule for each device and we can choose the energy source type. So this device is set up to activate from surplus PV only, but we can set it up based on the battery charge level, for example, or allow the system to choose depending on the most available power source. You can also prioritize which smart home devices you want to have priority. So if you click PV surplus priority, you can, for example, prioritize the tumble dryer to take surplus energy first. Then when that's got enough energy, you can charge the car, you can charge the battery, you can turn on the light, and all of these are easily changeable by just moving them up and down. Now, as you know, one of the features that we've always shouted about with Sigenergy is the whole house backup or whole building backup option that they do, which is so good, so fast, less than 0 milliseconds, that it's basically UPS. And this is the gateway that does it all, but they've released a little sort of adapted version of the gateway called the Pro Gateway. So the difference with this is quite simple. It's got a bypass switch now. So if you wanted to just bypass the gateway and just have everything on, you can do that. It's only got one inverter slot though. So the normal gateways, the home max gateways that we usually use have 2 or 3 inverter slots, but this has just got one. So it's slightly different, but there's something really interesting about it. Let me show you here behind the cover. So here's one I prepared earlier, and this is the inside. This is the single phase version of the Pro Gateway, but they've actually added this little cover below to just sort of hide the cables going in, which is quite a nice little touch. And also they've added the possibility for rear entry of cables with these little bungs at the back, which means that it gives you a bit more flexibility as an installer to be able to bring the cables in straight through the back rather than underneath. Another new thing is the hybrid inverter. Now, it's something that we probably won't use much, but for example, certain situations like new build properties where they need a more cost-effective solution, they might be able to put in a hybrid inverter with a few panels on the roof, and that would then allow battery storage to be added later by the homeowner if they choose. So interesting to see the option there that Sigenergy have rolled out to be able to do this hybrid setup. Microinverters, another new product from Sigenergy, and this is a really interesting one. You might have seen us fit microinverters before on the channel, but sometimes they're quite complicated to install. You need to install like a gateway for them and stuff, and they're just a bit faffy, so generally we try to avoid fitting microinverters. But Sigenergy's solution is super clever because they've set it up so it works as like a mesh network, which means there's no gateway needed. As long as one of the microinverters has a good Wi-Fi connection, it then talks to all of the other microinverters via a Wi-Fi mesh, make sure that they all seamlessly communicate with each other and have a connection to the internet and your Sigenergy app. Now, for the UK, microinverters are not that common, but for markets like the US and some European countries like here in Germany or France, microinverters are very commonly used. So this is going to broaden the options for people in those countries to be able to use the Sigenergy ecosystem. The microinverter comes in two options of 500 VA and 1000 VA. The 1000 VA will allow you to connect two panels, 500 VA, one panel, and they basically just link together with the AC cables like most microinverters do, but the key selling factor is no gateway needed, no comms cables needed, it all communicates seamlessly via Wi-Fi. In the past year, the name Sigenergy, or Sigenergy as some people call it, has been heard across the internet, with lots of installers and product champions getting excited about this brand and what they're doing. And there's good reason for it. They're moving super fast in the advancement of renewable energy technology. Behind me, we've got some examples of that, products that we've never showed before on the channel, and we're excited to reveal these to you today. Now, this is one of the products that excites me the most. This is the new commercial and industrial offering from Sigenergy, allowing megawatt scale storage for businesses, solar farms, and so much more. Each of these stacks can have up to 7 battery modules in, and these are 12 kilowatt hour battery modules. Now, all of the Sigenergy products, including the Sigen Store for Home, have a ton of safety features built into them. The Sigen Store for Home has 5 layers of safety, and this commercial and industrial offering, which they're calling the Sigen Stack, has 6 layers of safety. Let me show you some of those layers. So each battery module has 8 temperature sensors in it, and that's the same in the Sigen Store. What that means is that the temperature of each battery cell is constantly monitored, and if anything goes wrong, additional safety layers kick in. So the difference with the Sigen Stack battery modules is they've got an extra layer on top of that, which is a new smoke sensor, and I'll show you how that works here. So the temperature and smoke sensors detect that there's a cell that's overheating. You can see there's a little bit of smoke coming out of this cell, which is detected by the smoke sensor. All of this is read live by the Sigenergy system. And then what can happen is the fire extinguisher kit kicks in to basically shut down a potential fire in that cell and shut down the stack of batteries. Now, there are also pressure sensors built into these cells, and if they get too much pressure building up, the cells will vent that pressure. But then what happens to that pressure and that air? Well, there's a decompression valve on the side of the cell which allows that pressure to be released from the pack. Now, there's an insulated pad around the entire pack, but there are also insulated pads between each cell to stop heat transfer and stop DC arcing. But how does this system all work? Well, you've got this hybrid inverter here, which goes up to a significant size, and obviously you can connect a ton of solar panels to this. Now, they've got a 1100 volt capacity at the moment for the PV strings, but they're going to be releasing a 1250 volt one, which will allow you to connect even larger strings of PV to this system. All of that connects the batteries through these DC cables. The first stack of batteries has this DC isolator switch at the top of it, and then each subsequent stack is connected by pre-made cables that are just plug and play. You can stack up to 7 modules in each stack, and a total of 21 battery modules for 253 kilowatt hours of capacity can all be connected to one of these hybrid inverters. Then the hybrid inverters can be paralleled basically infinitely. For example, they've recently done a system in Bulgaria which is 10 megawatt hours of storage, and that's going to be expanded to 20 megawatt hours of storage in the near future. But why would you choose to install a system like this rather than a containerized battery system? Well, the advantages of this is that it's all easily installable. Everything is in modules. So that big system in Bulgaria that I told you about, 10 megawatt hours of storage, was installed in 6 days. It's just super quick and easy to install. The base plates are mounted on the ground. You stack the battery modules, everything plugs in together. The hybrid inverter is probably the thing that takes the most time to connect up. But realistically, even that is not going to be hugely labor intensive. So overall, you have these really expandable systems that are quick and easy to install. They're easy to expand in future too, and they allow you a ton of battery storage for large scale PV installations. Now this is an on-grid system, but there is an off-grid version too. Let's take a look at that. So this is the off-grid version, and if you have 3 inverters or less, you can basically create a microgrid. Now the difference with this inverter is you've got the AC output that goes to, the building, etc. So you've got your input and your output, and essentially you could run this completely off-grid, or you could use this as a backup system. But what about for larger systems, or what about for the Sigen store when you want to install a huge residential system? Well, let me show you this. Now this is the next level of gateway. Imagine a huge residential property or even a business. We've fitted some of the bigger gateways in recent videos, Sigenergy C120 gateway. We've done a couple of those recently. Now this is the next level up. So this can go to 180 or 300 kilowatts. And essentially, you've got all of these big MCCBs where the main power to the property goes in and out. And then you've got up to 12 inverter inputs that you can connect to this. So you could connect 12 Sigen store systems for a huge residential or commercial battery backup system to run your entire property off grid, or have a huge amount of battery backup so that if you're running a business or your residential property has very, very strict energy needs and you can't have the power going off, this system will enable you to run your entire property seamlessly off grid using the backup capabilities. Now this is the Sigenergy AC EV charger, and we've fitted these on a residential basis quite a few times, but they've released this new version which is suitable for commercial installations. And the reason is they've got this screen on, it's got OCPP capabilities built into it now, and the QR code on the front allows a user to scan the QR code, start a charging session, pay for that charging session. So now this opens up capabilities for fleet charging, commercial charging, public charging using the Sigenergy system. There's an upgrade to the Home Max gateway as well, which is the one that we use quite a lot for 3-phase properties. You can see it's got these little LED indicators on the front, and they've upgraded it now to 125 amp rating. That's in preparation for the 30 kilowatt energy controllers that they're going to be releasing soon. At the moment, the biggest is 25. They're going to release a 30 kilowatt version, and this is ready for that 30 kilowatt version to come out. And that leads me to some innovations and upgrades when it comes to the battery modules, which some of you have been asking me about. The Sigen store battery modules to date have been 5 or 8 kilowatt hour, and some of you have been asking, are they going to release a 10 kilowatt hour version? Well, there's an interesting update with that. They are upgrading the battery module capacities. So the 5 is going to become a 6 and the 8 is going to become a 9, basically. So they are going to get a little bit more capacity, but not all the way up to 10 as far as I'm aware. But the great thing about it is the form factor is the same for the 5 or the 8, and they're interchangeable, so you can custom build your battery storage setup to meet your needs. Now this is the bi-directional DC EV charger that's vehicle to grid and vehicle to home ready, and there's some updates with this too. But in terms of the software, Sigenergy have recently been working on an update to their software which aligns with the latest protocol for vehicle to grid and vehicle to home charging, so that it's ready, but we're still waiting on the EV manufacturers to allow it. Now, after we fitted our first vehicle to home bi-directional ready EV charger from Sigenergy, everyone's been asking us, when's it going to be ready to actually do vehicle to home? And the good news is Sigenergy have been rolling out more and more tests with more and more different vehicles. There's a whole list on screen of vehicles that they've actually tested in the real world, and this vehicle to home or V2X charger works with those vehicles. However, the thing that's preventing mass rollout right now is that communication with the vehicle manufacturers and getting them to allow this technology to be opened up to their entire fleet. That's something that companies like Sigenergy are working hard on in the background to get those communication protocols running smoothly and the relationships with the vehicle manufacturers to be tightened up so that this technology can be rolled out to everyone. Now, all this amazing hardware needs to be tied together with great software in order to make it a superb product. And the MySigen app is being upgraded to version 3.0 at the end of this month, and it's rolling out a ton of new user features, which you're gonna love. Let me show you some of them. The home display is now dynamic, so you can scroll around and see what's going on in your home and see all of the devices, including your EV charger and your generator if you have one. In the current battery level settings, we can now see within the battery charge state how much of that battery charge is from solar, how much is from your generator, and how much is from the grid. So you've got a real granular breakdown of exactly what the usable capacity of your battery is and where that energy has come from. In the smart home devices section, you can see each individual smart home device that you've added to the system, how much energy it's used, and you can control all of those devices individually. And this is a section that I love, your energy statistics. You can see exactly where most of your energy has come from and where it's gone to. So we can see, for example, that 31 kilowatt hours has come from the solar into the battery. We can see then how much of that solar has gone to loads within the house. We can see how much has gone out to the grid. And all of this gives you an amazing overview of your home energy use and how you're using your batteries and the renewable energy that you're generating. But the thing that Sigenergy is most famous for is its AI mode. So this new section here, how the system works, is going to tell you what the AI has been doing for you and why it's been doing that. So you can see all of these projections about what's going to be happening with the system. So we can see where we're at now, and we can see what the AI is predicting for the next 48 hours. We can also see the price predictions that are happening, and this is a feature that I love. We've got a simple explanation of what is programmed to happen and why, a strategy explanation, which enables you to go, okay, what's the AI planning to do with my system and why? So you can understand the logic behind it and why it's doing what it's doing with your energy. We are super excited to start installing some of these products for our own customers, and if you'd love to get a quote from us, we'll leave a link in the description below where you can contact us for a bespoke design for your property to get the best system for you. I'll leave a link as well where you can find out more about all of this new tech from Sigenergy, and if you'd like to see some videos of us installing Sigenergy products in the real world, watch these videos here.